Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Lakers only have one option left to maintain their dream of an 18th title, win the remaining 3 games of the series and turn the series around to 4-3. Remember that 2 of the 3 games will be in Los Angeles. Is the Lakers' situation difficult? Yes, it is, but it is not impossible, and if the necessary adjustments are made, the Lakers can turn this series around and advance to the semifinals. If Austin Reaves returns to playing like he did in the regular season and coach J.J. Redick makes the right decisions in the rotation, the Lakers can go far. There was great news today. The injured Maxi Kleber will be able to play his first game for the Lakers. But we believe in a turnaround and that the Lakers can take it game by game, and that J.J. Redick understands that wing Dalton Netsch can help in the rotation. J.J. Redick hints at lineup change for Lakers. Stretch big man could be available. With the Los Angeles Lakers facing elimination in Game 5 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, head coach J.J. Redick hinted that a lineup change could be on the cards. During his pre-game availability, Redick revealed that the starting 5 for tomorrow's must-win clash remains to be determined, signaling the possibility of adjustments following the team's exhausting Game 4 collapse. The Lakers have gone with a consistent starting lineup this series: Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. But Hayes has played fewer than 8 minutes per game across the series, averaging just 2 points and providing little impact on either end of the court. His lack of defensive awareness and inability to space the floor have limited his effectiveness, especially against Minnesota's physical and mobile frontcourt. In contrast, Redick leaned heavily on a different 5-man group in the second half of Game 4, riding with LeBron, Luka, Rui, Reaves, and Dorian Finney-Smith for the entire final 24 minutes. While that lineup showed flashes, especially in the third quarter when the Lakers built a lead, the lack of depth and rest caught up with them. The Wolves outscored them 32-19 in the fourth, and Anthony Edwards admitted post-game that the Lakers looked gassed late in the contest. With Game 6 set for Friday, if the Lakers survive tomorrow, the challenge becomes twofold: win the game and do so without draining the legs of 40-year-old LeBron James and recently ill Luka Doncic. Redick is clearly aware of that. But there may be help on the way. Stretch big man Maxi Kleber has been upgraded to questionable for the first time since arriving in the blockbuster Luka Doncic trade from Dallas. Kleber has been recovering from a foot injury and has yet to log a minute for the Lakers, but his potential return could give Redick the versatile big man he desperately needs. Kleber won't be expected to play extended minutes, but even a 10 to 12-minute stretch off the bench could prove invaluable, especially given his ability to stretch the floor, defend in space, and offer rim protection. If available, Kleber could slide in as a backup 5 or even start in a small ball role, allowing LeBron and Rui to play more natural positions while preserving their legs for crunch time. His presence would give the Lakers a needed boost in spacing and allow Redick to deploy 5-out offensive sets, which could help open up driving lanes for Luka and Reaves. No other Lakers players are on the injury report, which is a rare positive in an otherwise high-pressure situation. They still trail 3-1 in the series, but with 2 of the final potential 3 games at home, the Lakers retain hope. If Redick pulls the right strings, starting with a smarter lineup balance and possibly unleashing Kleber, they may just begin to turn the tide. Lakers confident heading into do-or-die Game 5 versus Timberwolves. The Los Angeles Lakers have their backs against the wall going into Game 5 of their first-round playoff series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Down 3-1, Luka Doncic and LeBron James will need to lead this team to their best performance of the season in order to stave off elimination and extend their season at least one more game. Coming off a disappointing Game 4 loss in which they were unable to hold a late lead down the stretch, the Lakers know there are still some things to fix. But after watching the film, Doncic feels the third quarter of Game 4 was the best they'd played all series. "The way we played in the third quarter, I think we played our best basketball," Doncic said after practice on Tuesday. "So we looked at the third quarter and what we did great and just follow that." The Lakers outscored the Timberwolves by 13 in that quarter and things were clicking. Despite not being able to maintain it in the fourth, that level of play they showed in the third gives Doncic confidence going into Game 5. Some little mistakes cost us the game, but just looking at the third quarter, how we played, how we shared the ball, we were flying around. It gives me confidence for the next game. One thing the Lakers must do is remain confident, as this is a win-or-go-home situation and Luka feels this team has to treat it as such. We definitely should treat it like Game 7, Doncic added. If you lose, you go home no matter what. We can't look into the future, so we gotta focus on this game and then from there go on. This is a message that has been echoed by LeBron as well. The Lakers have to take things one game at a time and focus solely on winning Game 5 before worrying about anything else. But they also must believe this comeback is possible, and Doncic feels the Lakers believe. Confident, Luka responded when asked about their mood heading into Game 5. Confidence is a big part of it. Like I said, we gotta treat it like it's Game 7 and we gotta stay together. If the Lakers come out with Game 7 energy and step up alongside Doncic and James, then there is a good chance they will push this series back to Minnesota for another game. Luka Doncic discusses how Lakers can improve in fourth quarters. Something else that would greatly help the Lakers extend this series is improving their fourth quarter play. So far this series, they have been outscored by 36 points in the fourth, and Luka Doncic had a simple idea on how they can turn that around. "We gotta make shots, it's easy," Doncic said. "I think we got some good shots, we didn't make it. Obviously me, LeBron and AR, we gotta walk the game down at this point. Starting with me, we gotta do a better job of closing the game out." LeBron James retirement rumors spark ahead of Lakers Game 5 versus Timberwolves. The Los Angeles Lakers are up for elimination in the 2025 NBA playoffs if they don't secure a win against the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. As the team fights to stay in the mix, fans are wondering if LeBron James is ready to take a permanent leave of absence. It's been heavily speculated in recent years that the 40-year-old is gearing up for retirement. While speaking on the Pat McAfee show, James hinted at what it would take for him to step back. "For me, it's about my mind. I'm all about the process. If it gets to the point where I don't feel like showing up to the arena 5 hours in advance, or I don't feel like training, or I don't feel like studying the scout sheet of guys," he explained in March 2025. "If it gets to that point, I'll know, you know what, Bron, that's a wrap." As the four-time NBA champion gears up for Game 5, fans are hesitant as to the outcome of the match. As of today, the Timberwolves have taken a 3-1 advantage against the Lakers in their best-of-7 series. As tensions rise, fans shouldn't be all too worried, as this isn't the first time James has found himself in a difficult playoffs. While the basketball star was signed with the Miami Heat in 2012, he faced off in an exhausting series during the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. For us to be able to go in there in Game 6, and we know what happened in Game 6, and for us to be able to come back to South Beach and win a Game 7. They just brought so much out of you, he shared on the Mind the Game podcast in March 2025. That series was monumental for James' career, as he eventually went on to win his first NBA championship. With the 2025 NBA playoffs game set to start at 7 p.m. PT tonight, one thing is for certain, both teams won't be going down without a fight. How the Lakers will recover physically for Game 5 versus Wolves. Let's take a closer look at how 5 of the Lakers' key players will recover from playing the entire second half of Game 4 versus the Wolves. The Lakers lost a heartbreaking Game 4 to the Timberwolves on Sunday, falling into a 3-1 series hole before heading back home on the brink of elimination. In the second half of that game, head coach J.J. Redick decided to do something never done before in the modern game, as he played all 5 of his second-half starters, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Luka Doncic and LeBron James, for the entirety of the half. Regardless of the merits of the decision, J.J. did say that it wasn't the plan heading into the half. The question now becomes, how will those players recover and get ready for Game 5? The first part of that recovery began immediately following the game. The players get individualized nutrition. You may have seen individual shakes at player lockers post-game, along with treatment, which can include things like hands-on treatment along with modalities such as ice and compression and, most importantly, getting some rest. On the flight back, hydration is critical, along with minimizing the inflammation that comes with flying. It's also more time to sleep. The first day after, or Monday, is all about ongoing recovery. This included individualized treatment at the facility and potentially at home, continuing with the nutrition plans, and more time to simply rest and keep stress off the body. This first day is also a good window into any potential overload concerns for each player, which you can then address proactively, whether with specific or extra treatment or modifying activity for that day and coming days. Speaking of the next day, Tuesday, the agenda is typically more varied depending on how that player is feeling physically. You will continue to address any potential concerns that showed up the day before or any new concerns that might have presented, along with introducing more activity. This could be on-court work, this could be getting a lift in, this could be going through full or modified practice, which the Lakers did go through, but we don't know which players participated to what extent or a combination thereof. At this point in the season and in their careers, most players know what works for them, so you have to take that into account as well. Last but not least, rest is again tantamount as you head into game day. On game day, the specifics will again depend on how the player feels physically and has responded over the past couple of days. Overall, it will align more with the normal game day routine. That routine again varies according to player preferences. For example, LeBron James recently discussed his game day routine with Steve Nash on an episode of the newly relaunched Mind the Game podcast. LeBron said that he typically arrives 5 hours before the game to lift, get some shooting in, have something to eat and then to do some recovery and mobility work. However, he also said that when needed, he will adapt that routine. The example he gave was on a back-to-back during the season when the team got in late to Portland after playing the Denver Nuggets. When his alarm went off, his body was too fatigued, so he decided to continue sleeping, modify his pre-game routine and take the last bus to the game. With all these things in mind, can those second-half starters recover for Game 5? Yes, to an extent. But you will likely still see some cumulative fatigue in the game. Redick took a calculated risk and it didn't pay off, so he'll very likely have to factor in that added fatigue into his rotations for Game 5. Whether that's shortening shifts early in the game, using a couple of bench guys to consistently rotate his key pieces, or a combination of both. He also still will understand this is an elimination game. It's not an easy balance to strike. Veteran forward will be gone this offseason if Lakers lose Game 5. The Los Angeles Lakers will have no choice but to move on from a certain veteran forward if they lose Game 5 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It'll be do or die for the Los Angeles Lakers when they face the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 on Wednesday night. A 116-113 loss to the Timberwolves in Game 4 officially has the Lakers sitting in a 3-1 deficit, leaving time to tell if LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and company have what it takes to keep their team's postseason dreams alive for at least one more game. As much as Lakers fans would love to see an extended playoff run, it's hard to imagine that happening if head coach J.J. Redick's team doesn't step up. Failing to do so in Game 5 could spell bad news for any LA players who are already on thin ice, including one veteran forward whose off-season exit would be guaranteed with a poor Wednesday night showing. Lakers losing Game 5 will guarantee Rui Hachimura's off-season exit. If the Lakers fall to the Timberwolves in Game 5, there's a good chance that Wednesday night's contest will be Rui Hachimura's last in a Los Angeles uniform. Hachimura, 27, was traded to the Lakers back in January 2023, arriving in town as Kendrick Nunn and a trio of second-round picks were sent back to the Washington Wizards. It was a price worth paying for a former 2019 first-round pick who needed a change in scenery after his development stagnated in the nation's capital. It took some time, but Hachimura has since become one of the Lakers' top scoring threats. He's made 96 starts in 127 outings across the last 2 regular seasons, averaging 13.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists while shooting 52.4% from the floor and 41.8% from deep.